We're now standing at the site known as Finger Rock. And in February of 1965, Brother Branham drove his car up the end of this road. This road's called Alvernon. He parked his car, he got out and he hiked. We don't know how far he went up into the mountain itself, but Brother Branham was a very rugged, very, really in good shape, and he could climb very, very good. And he could cover a mile in a very short period of time, even if it's straight up. The reason why I know this is because we had Brother Minor Arganbright come to our church one time. He gave a testimony. They were going down the river of no return near the Idaho-Washington border. And they said they were no sooner out of the raft, and there was a hill that went almost straight up. And Brother Branham got out of the raft, and he went straight up that, and he said before you know it, he was up at the top. This is the place when he got up there, that when he was praying and seeking the Lord told him that it was time to go and preach marriage and divorce. And this is where the cloud came up and down over 3 times. And you see how blue it is in the background? That's the way it was that day. And the only cloud in the sky was that cloud that hovered up and down 3 times over that area where Brother Branham was praying. And that's how Brother Ronnie Evans knew that Brother Branham must have been up there, because it was a supernatural event.
Why is it called, who called it Finger Rock?
Because it looks like a finger.
Yeah, but was it already named by the Indians?
I was trying to make up an answer, but I can't think of one, so I'm just going to say it like this.
Yeah.
It's because it looks like a fist with a finger. Now,
You point your fingers.
I flew between Finger Rock and that bluff to the right of it in an airplane, and there was plenty of room.
Okay.
We were in a 4-passenger plane. There was 2 brothers from Newfoundland, the Caters, Brother Arthur Cater and his son. And we flew, Brother Ken Raymond was flying us. We went right in between that. And at that time, back in the 80s, you could do that. You know, now you can't do that anymore. That's a big no-no.
Really?
So we flew right in there, and man, it was awesome. And then he comes around like this, and then we flew right down through Sabino Canyon. Oh, what a trip that was. Then we got to Sunset, which is 40 miles northeast of Tucson. We hit an air turbulence. Brother Arthur Cater's son said, Brother Ken, you got a bag? And by that time, it was too late. He lost it right there in the floorboards. So I asked Brother Ken, I said, man, is there any way to roll down a window in this plane? And so, because I was about to lose it too. He said, crack the window there, and it's like a little triangle window, and I was able to open it so that fresh air could come in, and that's the only way that I didn't. Anyway, that's one of my little funny stories. So we were on our way back. He says, hey, would you guys like to do a wing over? Yeah, what's a wing over? It's like this. And then he goes, it's like this. Oh, man. No, we don't want to do a wing over. It's too late because we've already done it, right?
Must be so nice.
Oh, that was awesome. But anyway. And then yesterday, Brother Jonathan Martin got to fly with Brother Tim Amelon, and one of those old single prop fighter planes, and took him around and flew him around Tucson. It was pretty incredible yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Were you there too? Or
Oh,
not?
no, I saw it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah, and I produce a news clip every week called WMO News, Worldwide Missionary Outreach News, and I put that on Facebook. So we have a lot of people that we're in contact with all over the world. It's pretty incredible. And I got to meet so many people, you know. So, anyway,
That's wonderful.
when you get back, could you put Kick on Brother Allen's phone for me and teach him how to use Facebook? We'd appreciate it. God bless all of y'all. This pretty well concludes our trip. And I pray that somehow I was able to put some pieces together. And if you ever have any questions, you can just email me at Johnny, Johnny, at WMO.org. Very simple.
Brother Johnny, I have a quick question. So many people, and I mean I've heard this, but just so they know, so many people confuse the the cloud, like the seven angel cloud, with this one. It didn't happen here. It happened in Flagstaff. Where was Brother Branham at that time? Remember?
Actually, that picture was taken February the 28th, 1963 by a photographer. And this photographer took it, and it was over Prescott, the Prescott area and the Flagstaff area. But it was so big, it was 26 miles high, or 26 miles wide, 29 miles long or something like that. But it was so high, there's no moisture where this cloud formed.
But this is not the seven angels that came down. And
Actually, Brother Branham said it was the seven angel formed the cloud. He did say that.
So,
But watch what happens here. The hunting season doesn't start till March the 1st in Arizona. Brother Branham is getting ready to go hunting with all the brothers, and Brother Branham got a phone call. Please come to Texas. And that's when he went to Texas to preach a message to help this man get off of, they were going to put this man in an electric chair in the state of Texas for murder. And it was the man that took the picture of the halo. Okay? That, because Brother Branham was able to get him off of death row and just where he would get life imprisonment, this man gave Brother Branham the copyright to that photo. And that's why we have the copyright today. And it was given to the Branham Tabernacle.
of the cloud photo?
No,
Or the halo?
of the halo.
Yeah.
Now, Brother Greene purchased the copyright to that picture that was in Life magazine, took it to Beaumont, and had thousands of them printed up in black and white. And they were sent all over the world. For years, we just assumed that cloud picture that was taken was over Brother Branham at the time Brother Branham was caught up by those seven angels. But it couldn't have been, because it happened way before Brother Branham was ever hunting. But Brother Branham recognized that as being the seven angels. And Brother Branham taught us, he said, now notice, he said, God never declares on earth first unless he declares it in the heavens. So he declares it in the heavens first. The whole world got to see that. And then he himself was actually caught up by those seven angels about a week later. Or maybe 10 days later, or something like that. We cannot give you a lot of details because Brother Branham never talked about it. In the Seven Seal Book, when the Seven Seal Book was first printed, the cloud picture was put in this on the back cover of the Seven Seal Book, and on there it said, mysterious cloud over Arizona, taken February 28th, 1963, and this cloud was talked about by Brother Branham and was contained here in the Seven Seals. Brother Branham never talked about the cloud in the Seven Seals, never. He talked about the seven angels, but he never talked about the cloud picture. And it wasn't until May, end of May 1963, that Brother Gene Norman took a copy of that Life magazine, the May 17th issue, took it to Brother Branham, and Brother Branham, he didn't even recognize it when he first saw it. And on the tape, Brother Branham said something spoke to him and said, turn it to the right. When he turned it to the right, he recognized it as the face of Jesus Christ. In many messages after that, he referred to it as our Lord up there, as the seven angels. He said, notice that most notable angel. He talked about it being the quickening power. He made many comments about it. So we just assumed that it was tied to the same time that he was hunting, but it was not. It couldn't have been. Now, people that don't know these details take this same picture and have decoupaged the face of Christ into this picture, and they believe that that was the coming of the Lord.
Right.
You know, they're now in the millennium. God help us if we're in the millennium and Satan's bound.
Why don't I have a full head of hair yet?
Yeah, me, yeah. I still wear glasses. But nevertheless, the thing about it is that people, if you don't have all the details, people will take some things and they put it together, and now you have another doctrine going around.
But
And
now,
the biggest place right now where that is preached is in the Congo. There's thousands of people that believe that was the coming of the Lord, and they take that picture, they literally worship the picture.
Oh my goodness.
And Brother Perry Greene felt bad about it because he's the one that took the original, had it made into a black and white, because if you look in Life magazine, it's blue. It's kind of a color.
Yeah.
But he had it made black and white, so when he made it in black and white, he showed that to Brother Branham, and Brother Branham said, oh, look at there, you know, and he started pointing out different things that he saw in it, and we don't know what those things were because he did not tell Brother Greene personally. If he'd have told Brother Greene personally what he had saw it, and then it would be great, because Brother Greene would have remembered. But he didn't tell Brother Greene personally. He told others, so we don't tell it because we don't really know what all that he said about it. And Brother Branham told Brother Greene, said, Brother Greene, take this picture, and I want you to put this in the Branham Tabernacle for me. Would you work it out for me? He said, sure. So he gave it to the trustee board, and the trustee board put it in Branham Tabernacle, and that same photo that Brother Branham saw for the first time is now behind glass in the foyer at Branham Tabernacle. I believe it's still there today.
Yeah. Well, like now it's more clear for me that it was, you know, the picture of the cloud.
Oh yeah, I mean, even the black and white copy, we have those copies, and you can see the face of Christ in it.
Yeah, no, but it was taken before the happening of,
Correct.
Of the 7 angels coming
Correct.
down from the sunset.
Because even Brother Fred Softland, Brother Gene Norman, none of the brothers saw
any cloud.
a cloud, or they did not see the 7 angels. Brother Branham was by himself out
Yeah.
hunting.
So that was never.
Correct.
That
Well, the actual, what Brother Branham was caught up? No.
Yeah.
No. Because that's the time that Brother Branham said that he stooped down to take the cockleburr out of his trouser legs and a great explosion took place. That was the 7 angels. He said that they came from out of eternity. And they picked him up. And they turned him toward the east. And let him know that that was the time to go preach the 7 seals.
But it's good that you're clarifying that
For an
has
example.
nothing to do with the cloud. I mean,
Correct. For an example, Brother Branham kept saying, I can't wait to get a building to preach the Feast of the Trumpets. He really thought that God was going to allow him to preach the Feast of the Trumpets. I mean, he's preached this Daniel 70 weeks, he's preached the church ages, he's preached the seals, and now he's ready to preach the Feast of the Trumpets. And then the Lord comes to him just before he thinks that, you know, the Lord's, because, you know, he didn't know what the seals were until those angels came every day to show him what they were and corrected him. And then the Lord showed him, said, the Feast of the Trumpets happened supernaturally under the 6th seal. They did not pertain to the bride, they were to the Jews. And Brother Branham says that on tape. So see, a lot of times Brother Branham said things out of enthusiasm, but the Lord would come along and correct him. And I'm not saying Brother Branham made a mistake, and I'm not promoting Brother Branham made mistakes, but he said he made mistakes. He said the Lord showed me. He said the Lord corrected him. He said those things. I can only point back to what he said. Because he taught us as a group of people, as the bride, say what I say on the tapes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's that simple.
And you got to say that, you know. So when we go to correct people, when we try to tell people, look, you know, that's not how it happened, they go, you know, you don't know what you're talking about, because we got the prophet's message, and this is what he said. Okay, fine, but whatever, you know. It's kind of scary. I met a guy that believed he was in the millennium. And it's like, man, he had quotes, he had scriptures, man, he just, whew. And all I could say was, you got to be kidding me. If this is the millennium, I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I am disappointed. You know, the lion shall lay down with the lamb, and, you know, all these different things that's going to happen, and we'll build another and I'll inhabit it, and, you know, and all these different things. Satan's bound for 1,000 years, then he's loosed. I said, well, to me, you got it backwards. He's loose now,
Yeah.
and then he's going to be bound. And, you know, it's just incredible what people come up with.